welcome back to
Perils of the War.
this is episode 27, and my name is John.
And I'm Roman.
And we are here to talk to you about Jehovah and all his golden glory.
I ain't doing that shit.
Oh, wait. Sorry. I got the names mixed up. We are here to talk to you about Sanguinius and all his golden glory.
Yeah, that's a big point of contention with everybody, so why not start off with it? Alright, so go ahead and give yours, because I think yours tends to feel more for what everybody's feeling for the model. I'm kind of in a little minority here, but go for it.
So, I have a few problems with the model. We did today, the first, get to see the silhouette of the full scenic base.
Yes.
Just the silhouette. But it does look better as a whole, of course, than it did just standalone Sanguinius with the dick rock. It's a penis-shaped rock, Roman.
I don't see it at all. I think you're pushing your gay agenda on Sanguinius.
I think Sanguinius has his own gay agenda.
I don't think so. I mean, aren't Primarchs fucking all Astartes like fucking dickless?
So that makes it not gay when they make out?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not cool because peepees don't touch.
No space docking.
We just lost like I don't know how many fucking people actually listen to this shit. Look, we're a little vulgar and we don't always say the correct shit, so fuck it. But well, continue. What is
So,
the stuff?
I don't know. I get it. They wanted to make it look like the painting of Michael striking down Lucifer.
Yeah.
But it's a painting. You know, it's a cool painting, but it's not. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's pretend for a minute that there's fucking 8-foot tall beings with wings.
Yeah. No, they're actually 10 foot.
Whatever.
Primarchs are about 10. Regular Space Marines are about 8, while humans are around 6. It's just a little height.
Not this human. This human's a little below.
I'm 6 foot, so I'm normal for a person apparently.
You're Mexican. You're supposed to be as short as me.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be like 5'5".
But besides the point, I don't know. I don't like the way he looks with the sword.
Okay.
He does have the spear option, which is his Telesto, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Which I think looks a little better because it looks like he's actually going to reach his intended target.
Okay.
The sword, like the pose with the sword's a little awkward. Like he's going to have to do, which I know for a Primarch, it's not a hard thing to do. But he's going to have to do quite the hip turn to get that sword where it needs to go. And then the wings, it seems like they just wanted to spread out the wings to show, their glory. I don't think they're actually sculpted in the right angle of his falling charge.
Yeah, if you were thinking about a descent, they'd be inward. Okay, I can
or
see
at
that.
least furrowed over him to kind of
create wind resistance.
Yeah, wind resistance. But they're just kind of look, wings.
Okay.
So I don't hate the model as much as a lot of people hate the model. I just think it needed some different angles in some places, some key places.
Okay.
I did see the picture where they closed in on his face and it kind of looked like Bill Nye, which I don't hate. Bill Nye is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But,
Is there anything else you want to add before I kind of rebute all these kind of things?
No. I guess not.
You give up so quickly. Okay, well, concerning the scenic base, the scenic part of the base, I just think it's a regular Space Marine kind of cowering in fear.
I think it looks to be about as long as Sanguinius himself, which a Space Marine would not be.
Yeah.
I kind of see the shape, and like you said, it could just be rubble, but I kind of see the shape of a Contemptor.
Okay.
And a lot of people are saying that it is going to be a demon. So I guess some people also are assuming that the rubble not rubble is like a full body.
Oh, okay.
It just seems a little bigger to me from the silhouette
Oh,
than
yeah,
a
and
regular
it
Marine.
could be. For me, it just looks almost like a Marine with the rubble and like the way that the knees, like it looks like it's bent and kind of cowering, like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking die. Um, More specifically, it doesn't look like a regular Space Marine, so it's not just like a. I think it's more like a demonic word bearer. Like, you know what I mean? Like when it's transformed, when they're transformed already. So that's what I think it is. But all right, concerning the pose is just an homage to like that. You know, Michael, just Saint Michael. So um, the pose is just an homage. It is what it is. I don't see this penis rock you're talking about. I just see kind of the rubble, and I'm just looking at the sculpture. They have to pin it somewhere, and they want it to be midair, of course, and all that kind of stuff. Um, the face is weird, but I was telling John, like, no matter what they did with this model, people were gonna be upset because everybody has Sanguinius so built up in their mind, rightfully so. He's a badass Primarch. Out of all the Primarchs, you can say he's the badassest, if that's a word. Um, just you know, like the lore around him and like him breaking a fucking bloodthirster. He broke it on his back, and um, it was doomed to fail. There is some things they could have fixed. I agree. But overall, I don't hate the model. I didn't like the paint job so much, and I'm not a fucking master, you know, painter or
No, but you are now a commissioned
I
painter.
we'll get to that later. But like I'm not a master at it, but I it's kind of the I don't know art, but I know what I like, and I just didn't like that paint job. I'm not saying that it's terrible. It's just not what I would imagine. Just like everybody else, I have this buildup of Sanguinius and this like shining, brilliant, blinding
Yeah,
armor.
I mean the non metallic metal is a
Yeah,
big thing.
it.
It's a really big thing, especially once you start going to like, Golden Demon Award
Yes.
levels.
Uh
But I feel like if they had painted it in the Retributor Gold, like it just would have popped more.
huh. I think they didn't go bright enough with their yellows. Like the non-metallic look, the non-metallic the non-metallic metals is a good look. I like the look. I would like to see it, but for some reason it just didn't like dazzle me the way it should, because the lore behind the Blood Angels, like I was telling John before this podcast, is they're artists. Like that's what they do. They are artists. They're warriors, and right below it is artists. So they have like an understanding of like the ornate armor and all that kind of things. And Sanguinius's armor would be the brightest fucking thing. He'd be a star coming down from the sky. You know what I mean? He'd be blinding everything in sight. So that's my thing, is that the non-metallic metal didn't pop as much as I would want it. And maybe I like maybe a more cartoony look. Maybe that's the problem, and he was going for a more realistic kind of gold and what it actually looked like. But I kind of want it like a little more cartoony, because it's fucking Horus Heresy. None of this shit's real. As much like realism as you try to impose on it, it's fucking 8-foot aliens basically fucking fighting each other, because they're not humans anymore. You're fucking genetically modified to have 2 hearts, fucking 4 lungs, all this type of shit. It's out of the realm of reality anymore. So stop it. But when it comes to um, the pose, it's okay. Like overall, it's okay. I don't understand the fucking absolute blind hatred for it. Like everybody's fucking shit, especially Australians. But Australians are. I heard this and it makes sense. Australians are the British Texans. That's exactly what they are. Because I've always said, like, Australia is just fucking Texas. Like, all of Australia is just Texas. And, like, it sort of makes sense in that respect. And, of course, like, Texas, we're bold and brash most of the time. So it makes sense that kind of shit would happen. But what like it's just receiving a lot of just like fuck you, fuck this is bullshit, fuck Forge World, and I get it. I'm not a huge fan of Forge World either at the moment, but the fact is, you now have a Sanguinius. Like you got to look on the bright side of shit. You can't constantly focus on negative bullshit. The people that have a Sanguinius model have a Sanguinius model. If you don't play the Blood Angels, you don't have to buy the fucking model unless you're trying to paint it. And in which case, if you're just doing it for a collection thing, you're the kind of person that's gonna convert, that's gonna green stuff other shit. So just fucking use that. If you don't like the head, I'm sure somebody is gonna sculpt the head that is exactly what you want for that. If you don't like the wings, somebody will probably sculpt some wings that you will like. Like all these things are convertible if you don't like it. I don't do a lot of conversions because I suck at it. I'm not great at finding different poses and things. There's something I have to work on for the hobby stuff. But yeah, Sanguinius, he's okay. He's not fucking god awful as everybody says he is. He's just okay. And most of the fucking Primarchs are okay. Unless you have some sort of attachment to them that's like, it's fucking great. Like you see Portorabo and you're like, he's so fucking badass. He has his fucking ball. He has his warhammer. He's on the shoulder of a fucking titan. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it's cool. But like I see Horus, I'm like, he's a fucking god holding his fucking maul, standing on the fucking head of the Aquila, just fucking ordering his troops to march to death or nothing. And to me, that's cool. But to other people, it's just like, yeah, it's Horus. So I think it's an attachment thing for a lot of people. So that's my fucking 2 cents of Sanguinius. Oh, we talked about Sanguinius for like 10 minutes.
Oh, well. We had to fill up the episode somehow.
Somehow. But since we're on the topic of kind of like new models and stuff like that, what else? From Forge World, everybody was again bitching about Custodes.
Yep.
How they're flying now, which I'm not a big fan of Custodes, but I'm happy for like Mark. Mark plays Custodes, he's painting up his Custodes thing, and he was excited to have like another unit. I don't know if they needed it. Like in terms of like how the army is plays, because they have 2-up saves, they have 3 to 4 wounds, they're toughness 5.
Well, my understanding, and I may be wrong, is that they had to lose armor to be able to fly.
Yeah.
So they have 3-up armor saves.
Yeah, they
just
do
like
have
a
3-up
Marine.
armor saves, but also they have like I forgot the rules. I know that Forge World did have the rules for them that they put out on the community.
Yeah,
website.
I tried downloading it, but it wouldn't download.
Yeah, that website isn't always the best. The Warhammer community site, I wish it would function a little bit better, but yeah, from what I understand, it kind of has the same stat line as it would. I think it only has 3 wounds though. I don't think it has the 4 wound that you see. So I think it's 3 wounds, 3-up save is the important thing, and I think leadership 8 or something like that. They're not a high leadership. But the way that army functions is like, well, they're already slow, right? Because they only travel the 5 to 6 inches. They only had 1 unit that would really jet, and that was a jet bike. Now they have this one that moves just as fast, has a lower toughness and a lower save. But I don't know if they need it. Like, I was just looking at it. It's just like, you already have the best Dreadnought in the game. Like, it is the best Dreadnought. So, like, you already have that big, powerful fucking thing. Then you have these things that don't die. Like, it's very hard to get through their 2-up armor save. And then they have multiple wounds on top of that. And don't they have an invulnerable save too as well?
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, it's really hard to take these guys down, which, granted, it should be. But they have speed on top of that. It's kind of like, fuck. I can understand why people are upset. I'm a little upset, but then again, I don't play them. I don't play against them really, so it's not a big deal for me as much as it is for other people.
I I again I to say what you said, I don't think they needed it.
Uh huh.
Of course, why wouldn't they make it? People are gonna buy it.
Yeah, for sure.
They're first and foremost a business. They want to make money,
Uh huh.
and a good way to do it is to take a overpowered fucking unit and give them jetpacks.
Well, the thing that I heard, which was an interesting counterpoint to Custodes, was the reason that they're kind of so overpowered, um, or like one of the reasons why they're so like prevalent in other places is because you don't need a lot for the army. You can have a 2,000 point army with very very little, buying very little compared to other armies that have to like chaos where you have to buy fucking I don't know how many chaos cultists just to like fill out an army. So that's one of the big things for it is just like you can get into a game very easily while everybody else has to like take a whole bunch of shit. You have four, you know, units that are just super powerful, and that causes a big point of contention for some people, which is what I hear. But I don't. I hear it from other sources, not necessarily our community. I mean, I don't even know who plays Custodes like within the San Antonio community. I don't see many of them.
There's a few players.
I know Mike Blanton had a little Custodes army.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he really plays. I don't think he plays 40k all that much. So, I mean, that's nothing really. Other than that, Mark is the only other Custodes guy that I know.
Yeah. David plays them, but not a full army. He plays Custody Guard Knights. I just saw somebody yesterday playing Custody Sisters.
Okay.
So there's a few Custody players. But I don't know who has. I've seen two other armies. I don't remember who was playing them, but I saw a red and black Custody army and then a bone colored Custody army.
Ooh, okay.
Here in town, there at Grimdark.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know who was playing them, but we do have a few Custody players.
Cool. Was there any other new releases that were coming out?
We have the Gene Stealers stuff coming out.
Yeah, Gene Stealers is coming out.
Along with Gene Stealer commander for kill teams with a few other commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the unit that I really want, the Atlan Jackals or Talon Jackals.
Yeah. Which it does that box has 4 regular bikes and 1 ATV.
Yeah, 1 ATV.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool looking kit.
Yeah.
I don't play Gene Stealer codes, but I wanted to convert my Catachans into Rough Riders with them. Then you have the Jackal Alphas, he's on a bike as well. He has a sniper rifle which deals D3 wounds.
Yeah.
And then you have the guy in the cloak, the Locust. You have a new Magus, a Clan Magus. I don't know what the fuck that is. Sanctus, which looks like a little assassin. A Nexos, which it's a guy at a dinner table.
Okay.
And then you have the new.
The dinner table. He's a strategist, you jackass.
You have the new building the drill. The Codex, a few other things, one of the things I was really looking forward to was the new Magos. I don't think they're called Magoses in 40k, but
the fat that fat tech priest.
Yeah, the tech priest. There you go. I couldn't think of what it was called. But yeah, the tech priest. He has a different weapon from the ones that we have now. I thought it was just a new sculpt, but he does have new weapons, new abilities.
Okay.
So he has a galvanic field, which comes with 2 options. You can either bolster warriors Until the start of your next movement phase, add 1 to the movement characteristics of friendly Forge World units
Mm-hmm.
that start their move within 6 inches of any models using Bolster Warrior, and add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for friendly Forge World units that are within 6 inches of any model using the Bolster Warrior's ability when the roll is made.
Nice.
And then you have Bolster Weapons, which is until the start of your next movement phase, this model cannot move for any reason, and the ranges of ranged weapons friendly Forge World units are armed with are increased while they are within 6 inches of any models using Bolster Weapons ability. If the weapon has an unmodified range of 24 or more, increase the range by 6 inches. Otherwise, increase the range by 3 inches. So pistols get an extra 3 inches, rifles and everything bigger gets an extra 6 inches.
Interesting.
He repairs himself and or allies by D3 wounds. He has the Master of Machines. At the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a single friendly Forge World or Questor Mechanicus model within 3 inches. If the model is being repaired as a Forge World model, it regains D3 lost wounds. If it's a Questor Mechanicus, it regains 1 lost wound. So just the standard being able to fix stuff for the Dominus.
Yeah, standard tech.
Yeah.
Tech marine.
His gun is different. I didn't get the profile of the gun, but it is a different gun.
Is it like a plasma type or anything like that?
I don't remember.
This is where our our professionalism falters, people.
Yeah, here's where we fall apart.
Yeah. Fuck it. That doesn't matter. All of y'all have already seen this, most
Yeah.
likely. Like, y'all have already know all this. So, it doesn't really matter. We just want to recap for maybe some people that don't and where to point them to.
But I do want to get the model and use them for a Nurgle Hellwright. Since the Chaos Knights haven't been, and a lot of the Forge World Heretic Astartes stuff hasn't really been updated yet.
Uh-huh.
Chaos can still heal their knights by D3 instead of just flat 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to turn him into a fat Nurgly Chaos Hellwright so he can fix my Traitor Knights.
I hope everybody can hear my eye roll. I'm tired of fucking Death Guard. I really am. They're everywhere. I'm just like, all right. But everybody has their fun, so I can't shit on it. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Primaris. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Every Space Marine army is pretty much Primaris.
Yeah, for sure. Except for really mine. I use Hellblasters. I guess that's as Primaris as I get.
Yeah, but I mean, Nurgle is it's the new thing. You know, it's what we have that can match.
Yeah, for sure. They are a powerful army. So that's what I'm not mad at that. I'm just like, man, I want to see some love for some other Chaos gods besides Nurgle. That'd be cool on a table
when they give us new fucking models.
Yeah, I mean with the vigilance,
new abilities.
With Vigilus, you're gonna get new models. Don't worry about it. You're less than 40 days away already.
Yeah.
To revealing something, which is at minimum a new Abaddon model, but you're gonna get a whole line of Black Legion stuff that just regular Chaos shit that you can take. So, are you gonna get a Black Legion Codex?
No,
probably not.
I don't play Black Legion.
But I mean, I'm just kind of like, all right. The only Chaos army I like is Emperor's Children. I don't really pay attention to any other armies. Like an Nurgle is just whatever. It's cool. Tzeentch or the Thousand Suns is fine. Khorne gets too much love anyway. I don't. But they have like severely gone down. Like they haven't gotten any love recently. So it'd be cool for them to get something. But I mean, Slaanesh is just fucking wasting away. I don't know if it's like the AOS lore where she's fucking, she ate so many souls, she's kind of sated for a little bit, and she's just, waiting it out. But fuck, I want some Emperor's Children. Which, is there anything else?
New models, the Commissar, the female Commissar, for kill teams, they gave her rules already for 40k.
Yeah. But she's normal. She just has a 14-inch pistol, like a 14 range pistol. That's it.
Which again, I won't be picking that up because Catachan don't like Commissars for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Catachan. I don't want to know
And,
anything about Catachan.
I
I do like
feel
how Catachan was like a jungle planet
yeah.
though. But I was looking at their artwork and being like, maybe I could like steal some of these ideas for like my lizard man kind of shit. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there was anything else.
Uh,
Well, we know that this weekend, by the time you hear this, of course, it already have passed, so we'll have to cover it in the next episode if there was anything from the Horus the what is it, the Horus Heresy Weekender or Warhammer Weekender? I forget what it's called, but that's where they're gonna show Sanguinius in full. The thing that everybody's kind of upset about is there's still not gonna be a book 7 available. Everybody was like, "Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion. Book 7 for Horus Heresy is gonna be there. It's gonna be great. You're gonna have Sanguinius and things like that." And they're like, "Nah, we don't have the book ready, dog." So everybody's kind of pissed about that. But you can buy Sanguinius early if you wanted to buy Sanguinius. And then the other thing that we'll be covering is if there's anything else in White Dwarf that is worth noting. Like, we know that this rule is going to be in White Dwarf, and everybody's seen it. We're just going to go over it real quickly. Is the bolter change?
yeah.
So they have it. It is the beta rule bolter discipline. Now, anything that's beta most likely just makes it into the game anyway, so you can expect this to be in the game. All Adeptus Astartes and Heretic Astartes, so for you Chaos players or something. Models gain the ability, instead of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons, rapid fire bolt weapons used by models with this ability may double the number of attacks if any of the following apply. The firing model is within half range of the weapon's maximum range, which is normal as is, that doesn't change. But the added thing is the firing model remains stationary during its previous movement. So that's new. If you're just kind of parked on an objective, you get a bonus there. And then the firing model, the other option that is unlocked with it is the firing model. If the firing model is a Terminator, a bike, Centurion, or vehicle. So that bumps up Terminators a bit. Now, it does include the word, it says, for the purpose of this ability, any weapons of the rapid fire ability include the word bolt, EG, or you know what that is. Bolt gun, bolt rifle, storm bolter, combi bolter, hurricane bolter, inferno bolt gun, etc. This applies when firing the bolt gun profile for combi weapons, including the bolt weapon profile of relics such as Bloodsong and Lion's Wrath, which is cool. And when firing relics that replace a rapid fire bolt weapon, so long as the relic is also a rapid fire weapon. The Gauntlets of Ultramar and the Talon of Horus are also rapid fire bolt weapons, as is the Guardian Sphere used by Death Watch Watchmasters. So, when Abaddon gets his new sculpt, he has a new rule to go along with it. Since he's in Terminator armor, he's always going to get his four shots.
I wonder what I wonder what armor they're gonna put him in, because he was one of the first Terminators, one of the originals, which means he should be in Catapracti.
No, he had to just stare in.
He had Justarian.
Yeah, that's what at the beginning of the Horus Heresy, before even the churn, he was part of the Justarian pattern, and it was the newest pattern of Terminator armor. And of course, Horus being the War Master, he gave it to his Terminator captain, Abaddon, and that's why they have that. And it more looks like Cataphracti more than anything, but it's just Theron specifically. But then again, when the actual sculpt hit, it just looks like the model that is currently out. It just has the regular kind of, the regular pattern Terminator armor. So they might change that just Aaron, because they've been kind of going back to, especially with the design for the Plague Marines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're an older pattern armor.
Like Typhus's Terminator armor is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So like it's older pattern armor. So I'm assuming they're gonna kind of go back and kind of forget about those new Terminators. So yeah, that should be cool. And that's going to be in White Dwarf coming out this weekend. Of course, by the time you hear it, it'll be out.
Also, in the White Dwarf is going to be new rules for assassins.
That's not until March's.
March.
Yeah, that's not this. That's not this month. Because this month they don't want to say it, but it focuses on AOS, and AOS is a secondary game for a lot of people, and that's why they kind of just like they're gonna switch off. So like if you really don't care about AOS more centric stuff, I suggest you still pick it up because there's gonna be rules like that for 40K, like the beta rule, and I like that. I love the idea of them doing this where they add like, instead of waiting, for the big FAQ to implement another beta rule, they're just like, hey, we'll implement it during the White Dwarf. It gives people a reason to buy it, because let's be honest, people weren't buying White Dwarf before. But it gives them a reason to buy it, and they'll see that there's like some usefulness, as well as, hopefully they'll stick around for like some of the other articles, which I have read some of the articles in January's, and I really like them. So it just depends on what you really want to do there.
Yeah, my hope going forward is that they'll put in some rules for Inquisition. Inquisition needs...
I don't know if that's going to be a White Dwarf thing, though. Like, it could be, like with the Index Astartes that they do. It's a possibility that they can do that. But I think... I mean, yeah, they're not going to get a codex for sure. But kind of wondering, like, should they get free rules? Like, if they're just going to be, like, more index kind of stuff, should they just release it on the Warhammer community site, like they do for AOS, where they have the Warhammer Legends, and you can look, it's almost a full battle tome, but they don't have any points, so you can't use them in match play, but you can use them in narrative and open. But they have, like, rules for them that you can just download. Which I would kind of like that, but then I think everybody would be pissed about the points cost and stuff like that. I don't know. Inquisition is just in a weird spot because you don't really need them. Like, nobody really wants to play with them besides the outliers like yourself, John. So I don't know. You can always have that hope, buddy.
Yes.
I'm not taking it away from you. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Do you wanna? Is there anything else that we have kind of planned for this episode?
The Centurion stuff's taken off.
Yes. Okay. So me and John are talking about this, and hopefully by the time you do listen to this, we'll have a page set up that we can go to. It's just going to be a community page. We decided on the name. Can we announce it here?
Yes.
All right. So the name of the community is going to be Heresy Resurrection. That's kind of the idea behind it. Is Heresy's kind of, it's not dead, but it's been
in our city. It's pretty
in our city. Yeah, it's slowed down to the minimalist of crawls.
Yeah, and
so,
I don't know like if we get any outside listeners for this.
Yeah.
And what city you're from. But the thing you got to understand is San Antonio has a huge wargaming community.
Yes.
Fucking huge. With like 7 fucking stores that support Warhammer and other various games. So when we tell you that 30K's come to a crawl, like, we mean it really came to a crawl.
Yeah, and I know that there was the Golar. Was that the Golar?
Yeah, Golar's 222nd.
Yeah, they were primarily a heresy group. But they, with everything that happened, and everybody's just really upset about the rules and, the pricing for Forge World and how they're kind of gouging everybody. We won't dive back into that, but what's happening there, they've kind of fallen off from what I know of. So me and John are kind of taking it upon ourselves to try to bring it back. Now, we're going to have a community page. We're thinking of doing not tournaments, not a league for Horus Heresy, because I think a league would be very... how do I say it? I think it would be too much pressure on
Yeah.
people to like, oh god, I gotta get Forge Order, I gotta get re- recast. I don't know who said that. It's gonna put a lot of pressure on people, and the thing is, no pressure for this. We are not enforcing a fully painted kind of thing. I would love, personally, if everybody could do fully painted or at least base coat something like that, but we're not gonna push that on you. I'm gonna try to have fully painted stuff, and you'll see, as we play Horus Heresy, that my stuff will most likely get more painted as time goes along. But we're not enforcing that. We are not doing a league. We are thinking of doing narrative events
Hmm.
where it's kind of an escalation of events. What we're thinking is once it's all decided, we'll let it be known. But what we're thinking is kind of a monthly event that focuses on a different,
Quadrant or planet or set of goals.
or a set of goals, and also scales up. So we'll start at 500 for the first event. We'll just let you know that. So get a 500 point army at least assembled by then, and not just say, like with these events, the reason why we're making it a community and not just a league or anything is because we want people to show progress on things. If you are painting, cool. If you're playing games, awesome. Any games that you do play, if you could post up some pictures and some results on that community page, that might affect the next month's event.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna have a once a month gathering of whoever can show up.
Yeah.
But also, throughout the month, if you're getting games in against somebody else, um, and you do happen to get a good guy versus bad guy situation going, then post the results so we can tally it in.
Yeah.
And it'll affect the storyline. Like, we're not saying like, oh, we're only gonna play one game a month. It's like, no, we're gonna do one game where as much of us can come together as possible, but
Yeah.
still get your individual games on if you
Yeah,
can.
for sure. Yeah, like we're not putting the pressure of like you have to play 2 games in the month, kind of things like that. It's not that. We don't want it to be that for Heresy because Heresy isn't that type of game.
Hmm.
Horus Heresy isn't a competitive game. It is a more narrative driven and more kind of just bring whatever the fuck you want. There are people that are assholes with their list, and they'll of course kind of try to they'll take the winning lists, but for the most part, it's more just like have fucking fun with it.
Yeah, which is
That's,
why we're starting off and primarily staying Centurion until the very end.
yes.
So for those of you who don't know, Centurion is you're limited to basically just troops.
Yeah.
You can have one walker,
Mhm.
up to one speeder, up to one bike unit, but other than that, it's primarily just troops.
Yeah.
So if you have Burning of Prospero or Betrayal of Calth, you pretty much already have a starter.
Yeah, you pretty much have your stuff there, and if you have a Betrayal of Calth, you pretty much have like 1,000 points already. So with the Dreadnought, with the 3 or 4 tech squads that you get in there, and the Terminator,
It's 30 Marines, a chaplain, a
a Praetorian,
yeah, in
and
Terminator armor,
yeah,
and the Dreadnought,
Yeah.
and then the squad of Terminators.
yeah. So you pretty much have 1,000 points there, easy. If you can find those boxes, still around somewhere in San Antonio,
Which a lot of people bought them and then just ended up not doing much with them.
Yeah, so if you maybe even put it up on the buy and trade page for San Antonio, go ahead and try that out. See if anybody has it. They're willing to get rid of it at a decent cost. But yeah, we're trying to do that, and this is kind of the first thing that I'm doing that I have a bigger hand in, because with the Mournival Weekly that the 40K kind of leagues, John pretty much does that, and I try to keep him on track. That's all I try to do. In this, since I love the Horus Heresy lore and stuff like that, I'm gonna have a little bigger hand and kind of making a mission, or kind of the narrative focus of this kind of stuff. Um, which is exciting because this is kind of one of the things that I told myself I have to do. I have to get out there in the community and actually be a part of it instead
Stop
of just
being an antisocial cunt.
yeah, instead of being an antisocial piece of shit. But I mean that's the thing is like I love the hobby side more than anything. I suck at the playing. It's like if you play me, fucking, you're 99% of the time you're gonna win. There's a 1% chance where you majorly fuck up and I maybe capitalize on it. So the hobby side is where I kind of love to be, and with Heresy, I'm really excited about the hobby side of it because I've always loved the Heresy side and everything that I think I can do with that. So yeah, so hopefully by the time you do listen to this, we'll have that all set up. We'll blast it out on the Red Star and the Alamo Gaming if anybody wants to join in for the Heresy Resurrection. Is there anything else you want to cover, John?
No.
I think we're good.
That's about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, what about before?
Mike Blanton is starting up the
Yes.
Age of Sigmar Skirmish League.
Yes, and this leads us into another thing where we did have some comments on, I believe it was Facebook, and it was from Caesar. Caesar
Alzaga.
Alzaga. There you go. I have dyslexia, people. He says, there's a comment from the Facebook thing. He says, your podcast is entertaining to listen while painting up some chaos chosen for Blood Bowl. You guys
I approve. Anything chaos, I approve.
You guys covered a lot of ground during the cast. I'm definitely looking to playing some fantasy battles as well as during the upcoming AOS League. Who is running it and where do I sign up /play? I guess it's time to start grabbing some white dwarves each month. Cool how GW is using the magazine to provide information to supplement your armies as well. Alright, so we're going to address some things. First of all, thank you for the comments. We don't get comments ever for this podcast. And
fuck, Trent? You dropping the ball.
Yeah, to Trent, fuck you. Addressing this, some fantasy battles. I'm still fucking so down for some fantasy battles. But I have to get my movement trays. I have to get, I think there's an eBay store that does 3D printing for the movement trays. So I'll have to do that. Fantasy battles is a hard game. I was actually looking at the rules, reading them, that big ass fucking tome. It's a very complicated game, but I'm still willing to do that if anybody else is willing to kind of go into that. As for the AOS League, it's not really a league. Mike Blanton is going to be starting up the skirmish. I guess a skirmish league, where basically you're going to use the warband, and especially if you did get January's White Dwarf, that is what he's using. He is not using any outside rules.
You have to go exactly what's within the White Dwarf.
Exactly. So make sure get your copies. I believe from what I saw, Alien World Westlakes still has a couple of copies of the White Dwarf January. If you're still looking for one, I believe they still have a couple there. I don't know if Grimdark does. I think they might have sold out.
I thought they did.
You'll have to double check with Grimdark. I haven't been there in a minute. But also just check around. Make sure if you do want to join that league, it's beautiful because you do not have to have a full army since it's all skirmish play.
Just 250 renowned.
Just 250 renowned, which you look at your thing. If you're using like Stormcast, you're using Liberators. A 5-man is 100 points. You just kind of
divide it by 5.
Divide it by 5. It's 20 points. So they're gonna be with it's basically kill teams for AOS. Mm-hmm. So just think of it kind of that way. Everything's kind of scaled down a bit, but go ahead, get the White Dwarf, and start with your army. Because Mike Blanton also posted up a little. Some first shots of the little trophies.
Yeah, there's a little best painted trophy.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. So you're gonna be getting a certain amount of renown for a win, a certain amount of renown for a loss, and no renown for a draw. So don't don't tie.
Yeah, it's win lose. If there's a tie, fucking kill one of your models.
Yeah. So it's 4 factions:
Uh,
chaos, order, death, and destruction.
yeah.
And you can play whatever the hell you want that
Mhm.
fits in the 250 renown that's in your book.
Yes.
For example, I am going to be playing chaos. I'm going to be playing fast chaos.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a seeker of Slanesh, a corn dog,
Yeah.
a pox rider, and
I
one
love
of my
corn dogs.
yeah, one of my new freshly painted Zangor Enlightened.
Yeah.
So just everybody that has like a 10-inch or more movement, that way I
Mhm.
can just get in and fast and
Mhm.
fucking convert everybody.
It's what you need. They are played. It's played on a smaller map too,
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get there fast enough. Because if you're playing Stormcast, you know that they only go 5 inches, so they're not very fast. So you don't have to worry about that too much. Um, and remember that it is Grand Alliance, like John said. So it's Grand Alliance order, which means you can play. You can play like some Daughters of Cain. You can play
With some dispossessed, with some free
Dispossessed.
peoples,
Exactly.
with some Sylvaneth.
Exactly. Just go wild with it. Mike Blanton, I know is very much a lore guy. He likes that kind of stuff. So if you can make some lore for your guys, for your war band, whatever it may be, that's something. My plan for it is, with any extra, I'm gonna start off with a specific army. I haven't decided which one, and then as renown grows, through wins and losses, mostly losses, I'll gather up some other kind of some other armies in there.
I have
Kind
some
of go from
Karajan you
there.
can use. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I wanna use this fucking piece of shit. No, I do like Caradron a lot, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Mike Blanton, I'm sure will post up on Animal Gamers, Red Star, everywhere that every member of San Antonio is a part of somewhere. If they do want you, go ahead and you join up when that happens. But I think it's primarily at Grimdark.
Yes, I believe so.
So, yeah, and it's gonna be another league where I don't think he necessarily schedules any matches or anything like that. I
Just
think
find your opponent.
yeah, I think he's more just find the opponent, go ahead and have a good time, and see what's up from there. Anything else?
Just that after probably a week or two after that is over, I'll start up another 40K league.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah, but we also have one more comment.
Oh.
Yeah. This is from Will.
Mm.
Good buddy Will. He says, "Woo! I got a shout out. I'm internet famous."
Yeah, you are. It's the beard.
I don't know. I don't know how far our reach is, but you're there, bro. You've got a friend in me and my butthole. But is there anything else? Anything else you want to talk about beforehand?
That's it, I guess.
All right. So before we get out of here, we're gonna of course talk about games played. I haven't played shit. What about you, John?
I haven't played shit.
All right. Good games played. I've been saying, like, I gotta play 40K. There's this new Bolter rule. I gotta try it out with my Terminator. I'll do anything. But the reason I'll do anything is because of hobby progress. So, John, why don't you go ahead and start that up?
So I was, I entered a painting competition at Grimdark.
Nice.
And, I painted up the new Noise Marine model.
Mm-hmm.
I made him look like Gene Simmons. He
Uh-huh.
has a fire engine red guitar. All his armor is Ironbreaker because Gene Simmons, he has the black underclothes but a lot of shiny metal fucking hockey pads.
Uh-huh.
I give him the white face with the eye fucking makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And his hair's black like Gene Simmons, but I give him a purple streak, because he's a Noise Marine.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not a great painter. I'm not even a good painter, but I figure somebody be like, "Hey, look like Gene Simmons," and I'll get some points there.
What did you specifically name him?
Gene Seed Simmons. I love a good pun.
Yeah.
But David actually ended up painting the same model.
Uh-huh.
He did, instead of standing on the helmet, he's standing on a full dead Marine, and then he changed the head completely, so he has like this white fucking 80s hair metal, fucking where you fucking
okay,
do your
fair
hair
enough.
like that.
The helicopter here.
Yeah, the helicopter hair. So it looks really good. But I put them back to back and took a couple of pictures. They look like they're rocking out together. But there were some good models in that painting competition, though. Aaron Lytle, who won the painting competition on the last Mournival League.
Yeah.
He entered a corn slaughter brute, which is the fucking scorpion thingy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he put a full fucking I don't know what it's called. I guess it was a crisis suit. Might have been. I think it might have been a little bigger than that. I don't know. But it was a full Tau fucking thing, and the slaughter brute, like, it's a full fucking fight base.
Oh, okay.
So fucking good that I was like, which model did he enter? Because it's technically only one model that's being judged.
Yeah.
But the scenic base is so good that I didn't know if it was a Tau model or a corn model, because they were just really fucking each other up.
Yeah.
It was a good looking piece.
Uh-huh.
Xavier entered the Mad Auntie mushroom fucking goblin from Malign Importance, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he gave her a scenic base. It's all like mushrooms growing out and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
There were some really neat models.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not gonna win, but as long as people chuckle.
Yep. I did not join the painting competition, just because I don't have time. But what else? What else you been working on, John?
What else? That was kind of all I did.
That was a big thing. Well, I know that you're now kind of dipping that toe into airbrushing. You're gonna start.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
So yeah, let me know if you need any help. I'll point you in the right directions, the right YouTube videos, because that's where I learned everything I know.
Yeah, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
Sad hands.
It's not Bobby Boucher.
I like that guy though.
Yeah, he's good. I always, when I see him, I can't help but see you if he chose a different path in life. If he chose a different path in life, I'd be like, that's John. But, hobby progress. Okay, there's a lot. In the past month, in January, like I said, throughout January, John gave me the deadline. February 1st is Zangors have to be done, which they were. They were done about a week early, from the actual deadline. I called them done. They're tabletop is what he wanted. That's it. It's done. He seemed happy about it. He seemed like he liked what he saw. Then, as for other things I was working on, I was putting together my Seraphon. So I was putting together Saurus Guard. I got a couple of other pieces. A Skink Priest with his feather robe. And I got the Astaroth Bearer or something like that. I forget what it's actually called, but it's it's a big banner bearer for the Seraphon. The reason I want him because my Seraphon army is going to focus. I mean, all of them do, but it's going to focus on magic. So he adds D3 magic points to that kind of pool. But another thing is that I started commission painting. Grimdark kind of, through John, kind of asked me, like, would I be able to kind of take on a couple of projects that they're behind on and if I'd be willing to help them out.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know Roman, he has zero fucking self-esteem despite the fact that his painting is fucking great.
Yeah, I see it. I'm proud of pieces that I do, but I'm never like, it's it's kind of one of those things that you always hear, and I'm not saying I'm an artist, but it's kind of like an artist adage, like it's never done. I just ran out of time, and that's how I feel with like a lot of my stuff. Where I'm just like, I just ran out of time, because like even with your army, I was like, I can do little things and make it even better, but I was kind of like, no, I have to hit this deadline. The important thing was the deadline for that. So I'm working on a couple of things there. I don't want to say what they are because I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no harm in really saying what they are, but I'm painting up a Mastodon. as Emperor's Children. I have to paint it up like within another week or so. Um, it's cool, but it is very challenging in terms of um, um, determining what is tabletop for me. Because for me, I just go like just. I'm not saying I don't do tabletop. I just do like a little extra on some things. And for me, it's finding that cutoff. Like I have to like this is what it is. This is what I have to do. But I still want to do a good job, so I'm working on that. I'm also working on another commission, which is an Ultramarines army with a kind of patrol of custodies. So I'll be getting to that as soon as the Mastodon's done. The Mastodon's almost done. I would say with a few more days, probably, I'd say another week. I'll have it completely done. Just because I'm trying to teach myself that it's okay to like not work on it for a day. Like today is not going to be a day where I pick up a paintbrush, which is hard for me because for the last month I've just been picking up something and working on it. So I'm kind of just trying to not burn myself out because that's a big deal that I don't want to happen. Um, so once I get through with those commissions, I'm most likely going to start up assembling my Horus Heresy stuff. I do want Mark III armor, but everybody wants Mark III. GW doesn't sell the plastic kits anymore. They don't sell the Burning of Prospero box. So I'll most likely have to go through eBay if I want some Mark III. But I have the Battle for Calth, which is Mark IV armor. So I'll be putting together a few of those. And of course, I have to buy another Contemptor Dreadnought because I took the Contemptor out of that and built it for my Deathwing for my Dark Angels. So I'll just have to do that, and I'll have the full 1,000. But I'm just gonna once I'm done with these commissions, I'm gonna take a break from it a bit and focus on my stuff, so I can play some Heresy. And somewhere in between there, I have to buy the rule book for Heresy and stuff like that, so I can study it since I'm gonna be having a bigger hand in it. I know it's more 7th edition. I can just read a 7th edition book, but I still want to have that book just to kind of reference if there's minor changes that do affect the game in some way. I want to make sure that I do that. But other than that, that is my hobby progress. Hopefully, I'll take some time out and play a game or two. Hopefully, at least I'll try to join the AOS Skirmish League because I love AOS, and if I can play that more, I would be happier about that. The 40K League might be the one where I sit out and I kind of help you a little more on that so that it runs a little smoother because it always not to badmouth it, but you've noticed it where you start off really strong and then towards the end you start kind of forgetting things and stuff like that. So I want to kind of help you keep that on track so that everybody stays on it and everybody can keep having fun that way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, I believe.
That should be it.
All right. You want to take us out, John?
Yeah. What are we doing?
I have no idea.
All right. See you later, Space Cowboy.
We're going out on Cowboy Bebop. Fuck it. See you later, Space Cowboy.